And good morning, everybody. Welcome. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. So should we give the Rockies a standing ovation for winning a series, their first of the season? Should we give them a healthy cheer or a golf clap?
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, I don't think that they're crowing over it by any
No, they're not.
stretch of the imagination, but it's the second time this season that they've won consecutive games. Your boy Hunter Goodman is basically carrying them right now with his stick. Another home run last night. So, and two straight games in the series. So, hey, the first time in 22 series or 23 series now that they've actually taken one away with a win. Is that progress? I mean, I don't know what it is, but at least they didn't lose.
Hey, if you're looking to watch the NBA Finals, the NHL Finals, which start tonight, right? Start tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Stanley Cup. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Head on over to the Sportsbook Bar and Grill. You can find them in the DTC and also in Highlands Ranch. Outstanding food. Start off with some cheese curds or maybe the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. Great burgers, 12 different types of burgers. I personally like the one that has fig jam, gorgonzola, arugula, medium rare, brioche bun. I want that now. I mean, it really is. It really is honestly that good. Wings are great as well. Outstanding place to watch sports. Besides all four major sports, they are dedicated to showing you soccer from all over the globe. Same with rugby, UFC. They're a sports bar that was built by sports fans. If you're going to build a sports bar, if you walk into either place, you will say, I probably would have done this way as well. Sportsbook Bar and Grill, DTC, Highlands Ranch, coming soon to Parker. Time now for the lead.
The Lead is presented by Sasquatch Casino, a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
Judy Batista wrote an interesting article titled 2025 NFL Season Trying to Fix and Nix Narratives. Here is one narrative she came up with. Is the AFC West a one-team race? She wrote, Chiefs won their 9th straight division title last season, taking the crown by 4 games. But the Broncos and Chargers both made the playoffs, and both were far ahead of schedule for their respective rebuilds. So this narrative is already wilting. Can those two teams bury it once and for all? Jim Harbaugh, year 2 with the Chargers, loaded up on running backs, signing Najee Harris, Amari and Hampton, leaning into how he wants to play. Broncos added key pieces on offense, defense, and quarterback. Bo Nix coming off an impressive rookie season. Both teams already have good defenses, smart, proven coaching. This is as much as a competition as the Chiefs have faced since their reign began. Which team is closer to catching the Chiefs, the Broncos or the Chargers?
I think they're in a very similar place. I mean, really, I think that Sean Payton probably wouldn't trade his position with the Chargers, and I don't think that Harbaugh would trade his position with the Broncos. So to me, it feels like a little bit of a wash. I know that's not the answer that you want, but it does speak loudly to the progress that both franchises have made. It also speaks to the Chiefs. I don't want to use the term backing up a little to the division because that's unfair. They've won 9 straight division titles. They were in the Super Bowl again last year.
They won it by 4 games.
Yeah, they won it by 4 games. The Chiefs, when you go back and look at the Chiefs a year ago, and the end result is always, and you and I talk about this a lot, did you win the damn game, right? Did you win the game? And the answer for the Chiefs is more times than not, yes, they won. But the manner in which they won games last year, I don't know if it signals at least a little bit of an opening for teams to kind of slip through and be competitive with them. I would say this. The Chiefs are the favorite until further notice because you've got to knock the king off his perch. and nobody's been able to do that. Do I think that both the Chargers and the Broncos are in a better place to do that this year? Yes, I do.
As long as you have Patrick Mahomes, sorry, you're the favorites. Generally speaking. I mean, Tom Brady in the NFC East. Were the teams really that bad? The Dolphins and the Jets and so on and so forth? Or were the Patriots that good? Were the teams in the AFC South really that bad? Or was Peyton Manning that good? Remember, for teams in your own division, when you have Brady and Manning, they get to chalk up 6 wins. You get to chalk up 6 wins in your own division.
Mm-hmm.
And you need maybe 3 more, 4 more, which you can probably find 4 on your schedule outside your division if you have quarterbacks like that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't know what your number is, but I think it'll at least take 4-2 in the division to win it this year. And I think that's going to be a hard number. I mean, it's going to be a challenging number. I mean, the Raiders obviously are lagging a little behind, but I think that we all feel that Pete Carroll gives them at least a competitive chance. I mean, he'll change the culture and the expectation there soon enough. But Jim Harbaugh and Sean Payton are doing that with both the Chargers and the Broncos, and the Chiefs are getting older, man. You know, I mean, you're absolutely right. If it starts with Mahomes, sometimes it can end with Mahomes. He's that good of a player. And then you've got obviously all of the support structure with Andy Reid and Brett Veach, and they have a tremendous organization. But their offensive line, by virtually any metric, is still very much lagging and wanting. It's probably the 3rd best offensive line in this division. Defensively, they're still a very good defense, and Steve Spagnuolo does a lot with that defense. They're very active. That's a good football team. But the way that they won games last year, and like I said, they won them, but they won like 8 games by a margin of 2 to 2.5 points. They won by hook and crook last year. I don't want to say they were lucky. Good teams make their luck, right? You give the respect to those teams. You do. But they did kind of move into finding ways to win instead of just beating teams because they're that much better than them.
I think that it is probably, would you say it's fair to say that that the Broncos defense is better than the Chargers defense? Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. All right. With that, looking at both offenses, let's play for the most part, who would you rather have game? All right. Justin Herbert, Bo Nix.
Herbert.
Okay. Najee Harris or Amari and Hampton and whoever else the Broncos have in the running back room.
The Chargers win the running back room.
Okay.
Yes.
As far as wide receiver goes, would you rather have Ladd McConkey or Cortland Sutton?
Yeah. It wouldn't be by a big shout.
Let's call it a toss-up.
I would say a toss-up on that one. Yeah.
Okay. And then the Chargers just drafted Trey Harris, who's going to be a pretty good wide receiver out of Mississippi. As far as offensive line goes, offensive tackles, Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt. Sorry, that's no contest.
No contest?
Yeah. Rashawn Slater. Who would you rather have, Slater or Bowles? And I like Garrett.
Yeah, but I mean, how far ahead is no contest?
Rashawn Slater is one of the best tackles in football. I would not say, I'm sorry, that Bowles is.
No, I would agree. I wouldn't, but
we're fine. We don't have to go. Fine. We don't have to use the term no contest.
Yeah.
If you don't want,
I think that's a better tackle group. Yes. In Los Angeles.
Each one is better. Each one is better.
Yes.
Okay. Inside, I mean, I'm going to take Quinn Miners over just about anybody. Okay. And then at tight end, Will Dissly or the guy who the Broncos picked up?
Evan Ingram.
Yeah.
Remains to be seen. I would probably, I'll give Evan Ingram the nod on that, but not by much.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much to choose from between the two teams. Herbert's experience and his flair and his skill set and what he has proven in this league counts for a lot in his comparison to Bo Nix.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I certainly get that. But I don't think, and I'm not saying that you're doing this, I don't think the Chargers, I don't think I would look at the Chargers as, I mean, so much better than I think the Broncos and the Chargers are in a very similar position. I will just say that.
I would agree. To me, there's just something about Jim Harbaugh that is just pure magic.
You can't deny it. No. You cannot deny Jim Harbaugh's.
And he just got a lot better in where he wants to get a lot better.
Totally.
And that's in the running back room.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that he and Sean Payton are doing very similar things in their distinct ways of doing it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of duh. It's obvious. Any coach should be looking to improve in areas of weakness. But the way that they're doing it, reliance on the running game, putting responsibility in the running game, making that work for you, making that the first tenet of your offensive philosophy. Those types of things, I think, are very similar between two old warriors in this game. Two guys that are probably, maybe they wouldn't even like to admit it, probably a lot like the other guy in a lot of different ways. So, and whoever does it better this year is probably the team that has the best chance to knock off the Chiefs.
What I'm about to say is the highest of compliments to Jim Harbaugh, but it's also a huge compliment to Sean Payton. I mean, you and I have talked about this already, but now there's another poll out that the Broncos, according to Pro Football Focus, have one of the top rosters in football. I mean, that almost seems inconceivable to me because I'm still dealing with the whiplash of all of these seasons of the Broncos. Forget about making the playoffs, just being serviceable.
And isn't this a year after Pro Football Focus said that the Broncos had like the 29th best roster in the National Football League? Don't quote me on that, but it's something like that. So the swing has been absolutely huge in this thing. So.
And again, this comes with giving away first and second round picks for Wilson and for Sean Payton, eating all that dead cap space, still eating it today. So where Sean Payton and George Payton have taken this team, specifically Sean Payton, let's be honest, one is strictly the coach, not George. And Sean plays a major role in personnel decisions. Now, all those great things said about Sean Payton, this is year 3. For Jim Harbaugh, it's year 2. Year 2. And look how fast he's turned this thing around. Right?
Yeah. I mean,
year 2.
That's why you bring these types of coaches in. These are the kinds of guys, and Jim Harbaugh certainly it has a proven track record at this. I think Sean Payton is making his track record.
Yeah.
I would agree. I mean, and the fact that we are talking like this is a cautionary tale for the Kansas City Chiefs, who are still the team to beat in the West, but it is fairly clear that the margin between the two teams, the Broncos, the Chargers, the Broncos, put them in any order that you wish, it's a lot slimmer than it used to be. Those two teams can compete for a division title this year. I don't think it's not ridiculous. I don't think even Chiefs fans are saying, well, chalk it up, we'll win the division and we'll host a first round playoff game, and off we go to the Super Bowl. I think there's a little more caution this year coming out of Kansas City.
Okay, just for fun, I'll play a game with you. All right. What was the Broncos' record 2 years ago?
8-9.
Okay, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, 8-9, right?
What was it? What was it last year?
10-7.
Okay. What was their record when Peyton took over?
They were 5-12.
Okay. 5-12 to 8-9 to 10-7. Jimmy Harbaugh went from 5-12 to 11-6.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, he's got a quarterback, and he's got a top 5 type of quarterback.
Oh, his quarterback, by the way, was injured for the majority of the season and didn't use him like most coaches would use Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
So there's your push.
And a pretty good and a good defense.
And an offense that was completely gutted.
Yeah.
Specifically at the wide receiver room.
Yeah.
That was year one.
Yes.
Year one.
Gutted
wide receiver room. Herbert is injured. Isn't throwing for a ton of yards. I mean, let's be honest. Justin Herbert is a 4,000-yard passer historically, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's who this guy is. So just for fun, let's look at what Justin Herbert did.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's the threat of Justin Herbert that matters. I mean, because you just said it. He's a 4,000-yard passing guy. He wasn't last year, and he probably won't be this year. But right. I'll tell you what, he'll be a more effective passing guy this year than he was a year ago because they will be able to run the ball more consistently and more often, without question.
Now, in all fairness, Justin Herbert had some injuries or had an injury in 2023. But the turn, I mean, you and I talked about this, and I joked about it yesterday when I said you lost the bet.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing about Jim Harbaugh as a resurrector that is not beyond impressive. This guy, to me, is a Hall of Fame head coach. Now, today, he's one of the best coaches in the history of football. Turned around Michigan, turned around the 49ers. And now is in the process of turning around the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, and turned around Stanford too. So the guy, all the guy does is win games, no question about it.
But he changes culture. He turns around programs. Yeah, all of that is going to help you win games,
of course.
He is like the doctor that you bring in when 10 doctors have said, I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and
here comes Dr. Harbaugh, and suddenly he's like, "Oh, just do that," and boom.
Yeah, but the thing that's wonderful about Harbaugh is the fact that he is very basic and very old school in the way that he builds a football team, and he does it unapologetically, and he does it very effectively. He did it at Michigan in very much the same way that he is starting to do it now with the Chargers. That's the type of team that says, I don't care if you know what we're doing. This is what we're going to line up. We're coming right there into the C gap, and you're going to have to stop us. We're going to run the football. And that's the end. And he's going to do it better than anybody else does it. And that's great. I love that kind of stuff. But he also has, obviously, a strong relatability to his rosters. And he's proven that over time at different levels at Stanford and San Francisco and Michigan and now with the Chargers. And there may be certain things that you shake your head at with him, but there's a relatability that he has with his roster that really translates. So, all the credit in the world to him.
Again, not a knock on Sean Payton. It's going to sound like a knock, but it's not. If the Saints don't get Drew Brees, are we talking about Sean Payton in this light? Okay.
Well, you're not giving Sean Payton very much credit for Drew Brees then.
No, I am. Well, he signed as a free agent, right?
Yeah, I understand that. Right.
If
But
Drew Brees doesn't go there, are we talking about Sean Payton the way we talk about Sean Payton? This is why I'm bringing it up, because you can make the case, well, maybe they are great without Drew Brees. The reason why I'm bringing it up is this. You can make that case about Sean Payton. There is nothing you can point to under any circumstances that one move has given Jim Harbaugh his reputation. He's done it with 4 teams. Now, granted, Sean Payton has only coached one other NFL team. He's only coached one other team in college and in the NFL.
mm-hmm.
So you wonder, okay, if he doesn't have Drew Brees, what could happen? It's not a knock on him. I mean, he's shown what he can do with Bo Nix.
Yeah.
He's shown that he can take a team and a quarterback, hopefully, to another level. Certainly, team, yes. I mean, he has turned it all around. Jim Harbaugh is a pattern. Maybe you can say, is Sean Payton an anomaly? But I don't think so with what he has done with the Broncos. He has proven he has done it with 2 teams. I'm bringing up this because with Harbaugh, there's absolutely, it's a no doubt about it. 4 teams he has done it with. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is you have 2 coaches who have literally turned around programs and teams. Literally. Give me other coaches in the NFL that have done that. 2 are in the same division and hunting down Andy Reid.
Yeah. I think Andy Reid did it to a degree in Kansas City, and the consistency that he's done it with.
No.
And they had Dick Vermeil, but they've had they've had a lot of unevenness. They've had their Gunther Cunninghams and their Todd Haley's, and Andy Reid has brought a great deal of consistency, unprecedented consistency in the AFC West to the Kansas City Chiefs. So, but I'll go back to and you've made your point on Jim Harbaugh very well, but I don't think either team would trade the other guy for their guy. I just don't. I think.
What do you mean?
I think
I agree with you there.
The Broncos are fine with their guy. Chargers are fine with their guy, and let's see where it continues to go.
Listen, if you're going hunting, or if you're hunting someone down, there aren't 2 better bounty hunters in the NFL than Peyton and Harbaugh.
Yeah.
And the prize is Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid.
Yep.
You give me a bounty hunter better than those guys.
Yeah. And Pete Carroll's coming. So, I mean, he's
coming.
My
God.
Yeah.
He did a pretty good job with the Seahawks, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did. I think it worked out okay for him there. So the AFC West has become, in really 1 year, to me, the most interesting division in the NFL. And obviously Washington, Dallas, Philadelphia in the East makes that somewhat interesting, and they've got the Super Bowl champion. I get that. Mm-hmm. But I love the AFC West right now for the coaches that are in it, the teams that are in it. If you're talking about dark horse teams, hey, look, you and I aren't talking about dark horse Super Bowl teams, but there are other people that are, and the Chargers and the Broncos are getting that kind of mention this year. Right. Maybe that's a little premature. Maybe it isn't. Well, it remains to be seen. But that in and of itself, to me, makes the AFC West so remarkably intriguing.
Who is the best coach in the AFC? The guy that I am going to pick, you might quite easily put last. That's next.
Everyone has their favorite sports bar. Mine, the Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch in the DTC.
Both locations are everything a sports bar should be. An upscale menu with 12 different burgers, outstanding wings, and my favorite, the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. They've got every game on the NFL Sunday Ticket, MLB Extra Innings, NHL Center Ice, NBA League Pass, plus soccer, rugby, and UFC. Sportsbook is a hangout bar or great for private parties. The Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, the DTC, and coming soon to Parker. They are the sports bar.
Ever wondered where city and county fleet vehicles go when they retire? Now's your chance to find out and score big. Imagine driving away with a great deal on a reliable vehicle. For over 45 years, Roller Auction has been the trusted source for government fleet vehicles and equipment. Trucks, SUVs, sedans, and more, all selling to the highest bidder. Don't miss out. Visit roller.bid/hot takes to get auction updates today. Your next vehicle could be just a click away.
Everyone has their favorite barbecue spot. Mine, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew. My favorites, slowly smoked ribs, smoked corned beef Reuben, smoked meatloaf with a portobello balsamic cream sauce. And don't forget about Smokin' Dave's 16-hour smoked brisket and pork with one of their 4 homemade barbecue sauces. Great sides, you bet. Barbecue beans made with pork and brisket and their southern corned bake. Man, you gotta try it. Plus, they have amazing non-barbecue entrees on the menu. Go where I go, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew in North Denver.
Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos in Blackhawk have another incredible promotion. They'll be giving away a pair of Spider Cruisers or over $15,000 in cash the weekend of July 18th, just in time for the Sturgis Bike Rally in South Dakota. That's right, your choice, cruisers or $15,000 in cash. Get finalist entries every 45 minutes from 10 a.m. to midnight during their daily cash drawing with a locked-up jackpot of $100 or more. Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos, loose slots, great promotions, great food, and a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
Spice up your next night out at Nola Jane and Lodo. Authentic Cajun cuisine like andouille sausage gumbo with dirty rice, crawfish etouffee, as well as 6 different po' boys like soft-shell crab and shrimp. Come in before or after a game at Ball Arena. Host a party or party on their rooftop deck overlooking Market Street during happy hour from 11 a.m. to 5. Plus, Nola Jane caters, delivers, and the kitchen is open late night. Make Nola Jane your new favorite spot to eat, drink, and party like it's Mardi Gras.
Let's look at the resumes, and this is off the top of my head. I didn't look this up, so I'm sure I will wind up missing something. You have Andy Reid, who has won 3 Super Bowls, been to 6.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Something
One
like
with
that?
Philadelphia. Right.
Okay. You have Sean Payton, who has won a Super Bowl, turned around a franchise in New Orleans, and certainly knows how to pick quarterbacks.
Yep.
Okay. Certainly knows how to pick quarterbacks. And again, you can make the case that Andy Reid knows how to pick quarterbacks because I'm sure he was in the room when they traded up to get Patrick Mahomes.
Absolutely.
You have Pete Carroll, who cheated at USC. Everybody cheats. He got caught. That's the difference. He got caught. Then went to 2 Super Bowls with the Seahawks and won 1.
Should have won them both.
Should have won them both. And then you have Jim Harbaugh, who has won a national championship at Michigan, turned around 2 teams in the NFL, 2 programs in college football, and went to a Super Bowl with Colin Kaepernick. Who's the best of the bunch? Well, now, when you look at head coach, in college and in the NFL, there's so many different hats to wear. Who gets the hat for the best offensive mind? I would give the edge to Andy Reid.
Yes.
But not far, honestly, necessarily over Sean Payton. Sean Payton is number 2.
Yes, they're both very imaginative guys with their attacks, both rooted in old school terminology and sensibility, but both with really very creative palettes in the passing game and things of that nature. No question about it. I would say those 2 are your best offensive coaches. And you can't argue with Andy Reid and what he continues to do every single year. He doesn't reinvent the wheel. He just makes the wheel better. Right. And with the things that he does. I mean, look at their receiving core. You're going to battle this year with Rashee Rice coming back from his little, drag racing stupidity, and Xavier Worthy, who's a great straight line receiver. Other than that, I mean, Hollywood Brown, really? I mean, Eric, I would take the Broncos receiving room over the Chiefs right now without blushing. Well, I mean, I would. It doesn't mean others would have to, and that's fine. Everyone can have their opinion.
You can make a case for the Broncos unproven, and I say that with emphasis, receiving room.
Yeah.
You could actually make that case, but they have the guy that makes everybody better.
Yes.
And is proven he can make everybody better around him.
Yep.
The question is, will Bo Nix? And to me, that's a resounding yes as an answer. He's only going into year 2. So with that, if you had to start a team in the NFL, young team, who would it be?
Out of the 4 in the AFC West?
Start a young team, then a veteran team. And that's what I mean by you wear a lot of different hats. If you have a can't-miss quarterback, who do you want to be your head coach?
Well, I would say Andy Reid or Sean Payton, only because they have drafted and are in the midst of developing quarterbacks. Jim Harbaugh has nothing to apologize for coming into the situation that he has with the Chargers with Justin Herbert, but his philosophy will enhance Justin Herbert not as the primary element to the offense, but as an element that will enhance the running game, and the passing game will be enhanced by the running game. So, I mean, it's pretty hard to go against Andy Reid on any of these questions when you start to consider what he has done and what he continues to do. Now, the question is, how far ahead is Patrick Mahomes with his other 2 rivals in this division? The answer is quite a bit, right? I mean, he really is. Let's call it for what it is. So, I mean, that's what I would go with.
You have a team that's not good. Okay. 4-12, 4-13. Who's your coach? Who do you hire?
Harbaugh or Payton.
Yeah.
Harbaugh or Payton. Yes, I would say.
I think that for Payton, he's far more dependent on the quarterback to turn things around than Harbaugh.
Yes.
He could do it. Jim Harbaugh, to me, is the guy who can walk into any kitchen and make you a gourmet meal. I don't think Andy Reid is that guy. And I'll be honest, I don't know if Sean Payton is that guy. Sean Payton wants to work with certain guys, specifically at the quarterback position. Jim Harbaugh can work with anybody.
Yeah, I mean, he proved it with Colin Kaepernick. I mean, yeah, I get it.
By the way, who is the quarterback to start that season with the San Francisco 49ers?
Alex Smith. Yeah. Alex Smith. Right. Yeah. So.
And did Andy Reid go to the Super Bowl with Alex Smith? Nope.
No. Had some pretty good teams, but didn't go to the Super Bowl. No, right. Agreed.
Could only take Alex Smith so far.
Yeah. No, you're right. But I mean, yeah, Harbaugh, my memory of Harbaugh and that he wanted the mobility of that quarterback, the threat of a run. Kaepernick was a tremendous athlete. But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I would sing the praises of both, maybe a little closer than you would. I don't want to put words in your mouth. I think Payton and Harbaugh are very similar in their aptitude. They're going about it in similar ways. I think that they're going to be. I think that Sean is going to be a little flashier, but I think Harbaugh lives on those old school margins, man. We're going to beat you up with defense. We're going to pound you into the ground with our running game, and we're going to make no damn apologies for it. And then we're going to beat you on play action because I've got a badass guy back there at 6'5" that can throw the ball 70 yards in the air.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good formula. It's a pretty good formula, and I think the Chargers are very dangerous, without question. But I think the Broncos can be dangerous too. I do.
Well, let's move, because we started off talking about, the division and can the Chiefs be caught by the Broncos or the Chargers. Let's turn over to the Broncos. We've spent a lot of time talking about the offense.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the Broncos defense, specifically the secondary, is the key to not only beating the Chiefs, but other teams in order to take over the Chiefs?
Can you stop the run? Can you pressure the quarterback? And can you cover? And if the answer to those three things are yes, you've got yourself a chance to win every single football game that you play. Now, that's a lot to ask for.
How good are they stopping the run?
They're getting better. They still need to be better.
Well,
if there's a weakness in that defense from a year ago, that is probably it. They proved that they had the best quarterback pressure rate in all of the National Football League. They had 2 double-digit sacks guys. They've got depth at that position that they're still developing. And they added another piece to a pretty damn good secondary in, Jahdae Barron, who you can do an awful lot of very creative things, not to mention where you bring pressure from. That's going to be another piece for Vance Joseph. We got to get the inside linebacker situation squared away. We think it's going to be Greenlaw and Singleton, but you know what? Neither one of them are. Well, Singleton's on the field, but he's only stretching and doing stuff aside on the side right now. We'll see tomorrow whether or not he's doing team drills. I suspect not, but that obviously is a question. But have they gotten better with Hufanga at safety and Barron, with wherever you want to line them up? I don't know how you couldn't say yes. They have gotten better.
Okay. Just for fun, as we close out the podcast, let's say, for the sake of argument, Jalen Hurts was injured in the NFC Championship game with 1 minute to go in the game and couldn't play in the Super Bowl. There'd be heavy, heavy money, and rightfully so, on the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. We know what the outcome was, 40-22, but Jalen Hurts had a day, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. With that, and this is the metric that I'm using here, if Patrick Mahomes gets injured week 4 of this season and misses the rest of the season, have the Chiefs been caught?
Yes.
So
yes, he's that much of a difference maker.
No, my point is, the question at the beginning of this podcast was, can the Chargers or the Broncos catch the Chiefs for the division title? If Mahomes plays the entire year and one of those teams wins the division, the Chiefs have been caught.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because you have Patrick Mahomes on the field.
Okay, instead of Gardner Minshew, who is their backup now. Yeah, who wins the division? I mean, there won't be an ask. I'm not trying to be cute. I'm trying to be direct.
You know what? You can have your direct, and I'll have my honest.
Gotcha.
You are looking for someone who you have accused me of being
Mhm.
black and white.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, you're being black and white.
Yep.
Yes, technically. Yes, the Chiefs did not win the division. One.
Oh, I think beyond technically. I think realistically. I mean, are you hosting a game? Are you hosting a game in the playoffs?
You're missing. Maybe you're not understanding, or I am.
No, I
not.
know what you're saying.
I'm not
is
making it clear.
If you don't beat the Chiefs with Mahomes, you haven't proven anything. That's kind of your broader point.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
And that's right. And there is merit to that point of view.
But it's not your fault, and you shouldn't apologize for it.
No, and you're
But
damn
you
right.
haven't legitimately caught them until Mahomes is on the field for 15 games.
Well, let's see what the Chiefs would look like. I mean, if they are, if they're 11-6 and they're right there to the last week, I think your argument has a lot more merit than if they fall to 7-10 and all of a sudden look like, a fish out of water. So to me, there would be extenuating circumstances for that, but largely I would agree with what you're saying. You've got to beat the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes to prove that the king is dead. Yes.
That's going to do it for us. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Make it the best possible day you can.